Hare Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna-prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshakarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagarpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we welcome you back for today's session. Today we have the last session, and we will be covering portion today from Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavad, which means we will be speaking on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. So this is like initial days of ISKCON. We have read how, because devotees were all very new, so they were attached to many things even though they were all devotees in ISKCON. In New York City, devotees would be often going and visiting the donut shops, right? They will be escaping the temple, and then they would be seen in donut shops. And devotees would complain to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, some of our devotees are going to this donut shop and eating donuts. So devotees are all new, so then these things would happen. So in Vrindavan and Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness movement. Krishna Balaram temple was not yet established. The initial days few devotees were there. And Srila Prabhupada received another complaint. Srila Prabhupada was told, Prabhupada, some of our devotees go to a local shop here nearby to eat sweets, rasgulla, gulab jamun and all those things. So what should they do? Because Prabhupada, these are not our devotee shops. So Prabhupada just chuckled and Prabhupada did not say anything. But Prabhupada knew about it. So one time, Prabhupada went to visit someone in a car. And on the way when Prabhupada was coming, his car went past the mithai shop, the sweet shop. So Prabhupada asked his driver, the devotee, to stop. And they came behind again, reverse. And Prabhupada peeped from the window to see who all are sitting in the sweet shop. There are some devotees who were eating rasgullas and others. It was a Bengali sweet shop. So they saw Prabhupada and they hid under the table. But Prabhupada had already seen them. So Prabhupada, he smiled and told those devotees from the car, Bengali sweets, essential for life. And Prabhupada's car moved ahead. So devotees are thinking, did Prabhupada encourage us or discourage us? Prabhupada said, Bengali sweets essential for life. Anyways, the next day, Srila Prabhupada was giving darshan. And Srila Prabhupada was speaking from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And while speaking, all the devotees were there. Some of them were also those devotees who regularly visited the Bengali sweet shop. So Prabhupada picked up the Chaitanya Charitamrita and said, this is the best Bengali sweet ever created. Srila Prabhupada, when he said Bengali sweet essential for life, it also meant Bengali sweet of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is such an important thing. Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj would say that in future people would learn Bengali to relish Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavad, because Bengali is so sweet. So we were hearing in the Bhagavatam class a few days back, Agnidev Prabhu was mentioning about the Chaitanya Charitamrita marathon. So those were the days when in 2 months Srila Prabhupada had told all his disciples in Los Angeles that he wanted the entire 17-volume Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months. So when Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela Volume 1 came out, so few of the devotees got a chance to read that book. And in Madhya Leela Volume 1, there is this transcendental humor between Lord Nityananda and Advaita Acharya. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda went to take prasad in the house of Advaita Acharya. So it was very transcendental. Two great personalities, Supreme Lord themselves, Advaita Acharya and Nityananda are fighting and arguing, and it's a humor. So devotees read that and they were very surprised. Oh, there is humor in between Supreme Personality of Godhead. They speak like that. So the next day when Prabhupada was going on a car ride, one of the devotees was in the same car. And he said, Prabhupada, Chaitanya Charitamrita is so beautiful, so humorous. There is this transcendental humor between Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. And Prabhupada said, yes. Prabhupada said, spiritual life means humor. And then Prabhupada said, in spiritual world there is so much humor. And Prabhupada told a story. Prabhupada said, one day Krishna saw an old woman. She was very old. And Krishna very humorously tried to pull her leg and said, "Oh old woman, you are so old. Who will marry you?" And Krishna said, "Only a monkey will marry you. You should marry a monkey." So the old woman was saying, "No, Krishna, I am your pure devotee. I have given up all my material desires. I will only marry you." And as soon as she said that, all the gopis and gopas, they just clapped their hands so much and they laughed because they were doing the connection. Krishna said, "You should marry only a monkey." And the lady said, "I will marry only you." And the gopis and gopas were clapping. And in this way, Prabhupada said, the gopis and gopas defeated Krishna. He could not speak anything. So Prabhupada said, there is so much of humor. So this is the beautiful Chaitanya Charitamrita, from where we will read some anecdotes of how at different points there were transcendental lockdowns and quarantines. The first, I'll just mention 2-3, then we will go detail into that. How Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was transcendentally put under lockdown in Jagannath Puri. We will go details. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his followers in lockdown either in Jagannath Puri or in Vrindavan. So it looks like our Guru Parampara is all about putting devotees in lockdown, transcendental lockdown, staying in one place. Let's go one by one. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas and he left Katwa, and Nityananda Prabhu was there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, and Nityananda Prabhu tricked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought him to Shantipur. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then met Sachi Mata and all the devotees, and Sachi Mata told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Don't go to Vrindavan. You stay in Jagannath Puri, because then I can hear about you from devotees." So Mahaprabhu had to go to Vrindavan, but he could not go to Vrindavan. He was put by his mother in transcendental lockdown in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri also, he could not go out. Every time he had to go out, he had to ask all the devotees permission. Can I go out of Puri to South India? Can I go out of Puri to Vrindavan? So Mahaprabhu was in transcendental lockdown. Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that Srimad Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes for 48 years on this earth. Out of his 24 years, he was in Navadvip, where he exhibited the beautiful pastime as Nimai Pandit. And then 24 years he took sannyas. Next 24 years he was in Jagannath Puri, out of which only 6 years he travelled. He travelled South India and Vrindavan. Remaining 18 years Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, experiencing the transcendental madness for which he had come to relish the pure love of Srimati Radharani for Krishna. And therefore Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Sri Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is an amazing place. Gaur Govind Maharaj mentions in one of his books, who is Jagannath and who is Lord Chaitanya? He said that when Krishna is crying for Radharani, that is Jagannath. And when Radharani is crying for Krishna, that is Mahaprabhu. So our philosophy is philosophy of crying, he said. When the Bhubaneswar temple was built, Gaur Govind Maharaj was installing the deities there, and the press came, reporters came, because it was a grand temple inauguration. So one of the reporters came and took an interview of Gaur Govind Maharaj, And Gaur Govind Maharaj said, we welcome everyone to this school. So it was a temple. But Gaur Govind Maharaj was saying, we are welcoming everyone to this school where we will teach how to cry. So the reporter was very bewildered. What is this crying school, temple is there? And then he clarified that this is the school where you learn how to cry for Krishna. Right? Does it mean that we invite our guests to come with handkerchiefs to cry here? No. Cry for Krishna should not be just by eye, but should be with heart. That is crying. Actually, when we cry with heart, we also cry with eyes also. Like I was going to this beautiful bhajan. What is that? Boro Sukher Khabor Gai, Boro Sukher Khabor Gai. I think so, Prabhu, that in that bhajan this stanza comes, Ek bar dekhe chokhe jal. Yes, right. So what is this stanza? Very beautiful. Ek bar dekhe chokhe jal, Gaur Akan, Nitai Bole, Sakala Saman. There, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Nityanand Prabhu is so merciful. If he sees someone has one drop of tears in his eyes, by seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is feeling that this is Shriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who has come to deliver me, I am so fallen. And seeing the compassionate nature of Lord Chaitanya, Ek bar dekhe, chokhe, chokhe means eye. If Nityanand Prabhu sees one drop of that tear out of appreciation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityanand Prabhu will give himself to that person. So amazing. This is the philosophy of crying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri to experience the crying pastime. 18 years Mahaprabhu was constantly crying in separation, experiencing the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Srimad Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami and all devotees were helping him how to cry. So this is Jagannath Puri. So in Jagannath Puri, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, when he came, the first person he interacted was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not a devotee that time. He was a Pandit, he was a scholar, he was the priest of Jagannath temple and the high priest of the king of Odisha. And in due course of time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made him a devotee. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached him, he became a devotee. And that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to South India Yatra. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and asks permission, can I go to South India Yatra? Can you imagine? Just now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has preached a Mayavadi to become a devotee. And the same person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is going and asking permission, can I go to South India? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport there, this is amazing, I am paraphrasing, this is amazing. How can a sannyasi go to Grahastha and ask for blessings to go? Something new. And Prabhupada said, it is possible. In Krishna consciousness movement, a sannyasi can take blessings of Grahasthas also, because even Grahasthas are highly qualified. This is Prabhupada. So, Krishna consciousness movement teaches us that how one can practice spiritual life in any ashram. All one needs is sincerity in Krishna consciousness. One time Srila Prabhupada was giving a class and he mentioned that the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan had no family and they were very happy. So many devotees thought Prabhupada is saying family means no happiness. So immediately Prabhupada realized, Prabhupada said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had big family and he was happy. And Prabhupada said, family and no family doesn't matter. Krishna consciousness makes one happy. So whether one has family, do not have family. If one is Krishna conscious, he becomes happy. So that is how Srila Prabhupada has taught all of us how we can be grateful and we can contribute in our unique way. We see that there are plenty of examples of great householders in Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, if you see Shukadeva Goswami, fully renounced person, he is born 16-year-old, doesn't wait, just walks out of the house, completely renounced. This Shukadeva Goswami is narrating Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj and recalling the names of kings, their wives and their children in detail, chapter after chapter. Shukadeva Goswami, completely detached person, is recalling. Why? Because he knows these kings are not ordinary kings. These are great Mahabhagavats. They are Mahabhagavats, and in their lineage, either their son or grandson, Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna was born in one of his incarnations. So he goes in detail. 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami narrates names of king, what is their wife name, their daughter name, their son's name, in detail. Vidura, he left the kingdom of Hastinapur and he was inspired by Uddhava to go to Haridwar and meet Maitra Rishi and discuss Srimad Bhagavatam with him. So Vidura, a renounced person, now sitting with Maitreya Rishi, another renounced person. And core of that discussion, Maitreya Rishi discusses and describes the transcendental connection and how Swayambhu Manu's daughter, Swayambhu Manu came and got her married with Kardama Muni. So that is one. Kardama Muni was married to Devahuti and Devahuti gave birth to Kapila. So done. Vidura takes a pause because he is hearing. And he asked Maitra Rishi, please tell me what happened after they got married. Can you imagine two Vairagis sitting and asking, they got married, what happened after they got married? It's a very strange question to discuss in Vairagis, right? But they know this is not an ordinary combination. This combination is super combination. By their Krishna consciousness, they attracted a great personality, Lord Kapila. And therefore they are interested in hearing about their married life. So what we see here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is approaching Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and begging permission, can I go? And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, I will discuss and come back. Because who wants to leave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Those days there was no Facebook, no WhatsApp, no Twitter, that he knew where Mahaprabhu is. Once Mahaprabhu goes, and whenever he comes, till that time, you have no association of Mahaprabhu. Who will leave Mahaprabhu? So they discuss a lot. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that they will never allow him. So Mahaprabhu had to use some other pretext. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, I lost my brother, Vishwarup, I do not know where is he. So now I am a sannyasi, I can move around. I want to go to south and check where my brother is. Can you allow me? With that pretext, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, with discussion with all devotees, they said, yes, you can go South India, we will also come with you South India. So Mahaprabhu said, what is this? So Mahaprabhu said, no, I cannot come. This Nityananda, if I take him, he broke my danda. He is Avadhuta. And if I don't allow him, he will be not happy. If I allow you, he will not be happy. So I will not allow anyone. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya went, no, you have to take someone. You go alone, you are chanting, who will carry your jhola, your water pot? So then Kala Krishna Das, you take him. He is not a well-known devotee so much, take him. So Mahaprabhu takes Kala Krishna Das. And then he goes on South India and finally comes back to Jagannath Puri. Then after some time, Mahaprabhu's earnest desire is to go to Vrindavan Dham. Actually, Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan Dham right from Katwa. Actually, Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan Dham before that. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya to do last rites of his father, he made Ishwarapuri there and got initiated. When Ishwarapuri gave him the Mahamantra, he started chanting the Mahamantra, and with that chanting of Mahamantra, he developed taste. This is Mahaprabhu showing us. Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Adi. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted, he got taste in name and immediately got desire to go to Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu was running towards Vrindavan. All the demigods are thinking, hey, what's happening? This is out of script. The script is not to go to Vrindavan now. So there is a heavenly voice. Oh Lord Gauranga, stop. This is not time to go to Vrindavan. Please go back to Navadip. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to stop, turn back and come back to Gaya. And from there he came to Navadip. So he could not go to Vrindavan that time. They told time will come, Mahaprabhu, that time you go. So he took sannyas and thought now time has come. But Nityananda tricked him, brought him to Shantipur, and transcendentally Sachimata put Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in lockdown in Jagannath Puri. So he could not go. So again when he came back from South India, he spent some years and then he asked all the devotees, please allow me to go to Vrindavan. So devotee said, well Mahaprabhu, just now Kartik is coming. Let Kartik get over. And then you can go to Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu said, okay. So the Kartik month got over. Everyone was happy. After Kartik, Mahaprabhu approached, Kartik is over. Can I go to Vrindavan? Oh Mahaprabhu, now Dole is coming. Dole Yatra means like month of March. After that you go. So in this way they were postponing Mahaprabhu's going to Vrindavan. And finally Mahaprabhu said, I have to go to Vrindavan, let me go. Yes Mahaprabhu, you go ahead, we'll join you. Everyone came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan. And as Mahaprabhu was moving from Jagannath Puri ahead, wherever and whichever village he would go through, those village people also will join. So finally the whole caravan was a huge. And Mahaprabhu, instead of going left, transcendently was going straight. First he went to Navadip Dham, he visited Navadip Dham and he delivered Devananda Pandit and also Gopal Chapal. And then he went ahead to Kanhai Nat Shala. Not Kanhai Nat Shala, he went to Ramakiri, sorry. Ramakiri was a place where Swarupa Sanatan were as ministers in Nawab Hussain Shah's government. So Mahaprabhu went that side to deliver them first. And then he was supposed to go to Vrindavan. Sort of off track. Then he was supposed to go to Vrindavan. So in Ramakiri, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and he told, I am going to Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami told him, Mahaprabhu, you are going to Vrindavan with 5,000 people. How you will relish Vrindavan? You should go to Vrindavan alone. So Mahaprabhu said, is it? Mahaprabhu turned back, came back to Jagannath Puri, did not go to Vrindavan. This is how Mahaprabhu was in his heart. He was under lockdown of pure devotees. He would take a step and devotees would stop him, and then he again retrieved his steps. In Ramkeli, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while doing Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uttered this beautiful verse. सर्वत्र प्रचार होइबे मोर नाम पृथ्वी ते आचे जत नगरादि ग्राम सर्वत्र प्रचार होइबे मोर नाम. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this verse was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Ramakiri. He said, in all over the world, in every town and village, my holy name will be chanted. This is the place Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. And that is the place Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also went ahead and said, Narottam, Narottam. And he predicted Narottam Das Thakur's appearance. So one time Srila Prabhupada, when he was in the West, there was a famous radio show. So one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, can we take you to a radio show? So Srila Prabhupada said, it's good for preaching, why not? He said, Prabhupada, it's a midnight show, late night show. So Prabhupada said, I can stay whole day and whole night if opportunity for preaching is there. So night 11 o'clock Prabhupada is taken to the radio show. Okay. And Prabhupada's turn came at night 1 p.m., 1 a.m. And this person who was the radio show host, he was known for screwing up his customers, people who would get on the show. So he had done full research on India's spirituality. So when Prabhupada came and said, it was live, the first question he asked Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, I have heard that in India there is a saying that the Swamis don't travel across the sea. This is the right thing. It is mentioned that from other Sampradaya sannyasis don't travel. It's an actual saying in the Puranas that the Swamis don't travel across the sea, don't leave Bharatvarsha. Why? Because there is a chance of contamination going to other places. So he said to Prabhupada, can you imagine a Western radio host is saying this? And Prabhupada said, who said that? He was confused because he also was having borrowed information. Who said that? So he was surprised. Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithvi te aache jata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoy be mora naam. And Prabhupada said, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this, he was thinking about me. This is Srila Prabhupada. So Mahaprabhu came back from Ramkeli to Jagannath Puri. He could not go to Vrindavan. Then Mahaprabhu again attempted, I have to go to Vrindavan. Again devotee said, Mahaprabhu, now this festival is coming, you hold on. After that festival you can go. And in this 7 to 8 months went. And Mahaprabhu said, please allow me to go to Vrindavan. I have never been to Vrindavan. So devotee said, yes Mahaprabhu, we'll all go to Vrindavan. No. Mahaprabhu said, I will go alone. Then said, no Mahaprabhu, we should take some devotee. And Mahaprabhu said, last time I took that rascal Karl Krishna Das, he went away to these gypsies and bring him back. I don't want that. So they said, no Mahaprabhu, this time we'll give a nice devotee, humble devotee, trained person. So devotees are always bargaining with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu would always agree with them. So finally Balabhadra Bhattacharya was chosen. And Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. How he went to Vrindavan? He travelled to Jharkhand forest, he arranged for all the jungles, all the animals in jungle to chant the holy name of Krishna. And then he went to Banaras, then he went to Prayag, and then he went to Braj. And after, I guess 2 months or 3 months, he stayed in Vrindavan, then he returned back. And meanwhile, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone to Ramkeli and inspired Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they decided to quit their jobs. So Rupa Goswami escaped first. Sanatana Goswami was much more bigger minister than Rupa Goswami. So he said, you go ahead, I'll come later. Because if it both go, then there will be a big problem. So Rupa Goswami escaped. He divided his money, 50%, and then all that thing. Kept some money for Sanatana Goswami. Rupa Goswami went away. Sanatana Goswami was not going to his job. He was staying in the home and hearing Bhagavad. And he had put a paid leave, not paid leave, casual leave, they call it, Sick leave, right, sick leave. He did not go. And the king was worried, why my minister is not coming? And someone said, oh Raja, we think that he is hearing Bhagavad. What? Bhagavad? So he sent a spy and he came to know, actually Sanatana Goswami was reading Bhagavad. So he put Sanatana Goswami in the prison. And there is a big story how Sanatana Goswami escaped from the prison. But so meanwhile when Rupa Goswami came back, Mahaprabhu was returning from Vrindavan. He came to this holy place called as Prayag. And Rupa Goswami comes in. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks for 10 days. He's teaching to Srila Rupa Goswami and gives him the mission of his life. Go to Vrindavan. Don't leave Vrindavan. Stay there. So Rupa Goswami is now put in transcendental lockdown in Braj. To develop Vrindavan, develop temples, establish deities, write scriptures in Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan had completely got, covered over. Nothing was there. When Mahaprabhu came, he had to re-excavate or he had to discover Radhakund and Shyamkund. Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, the shining jewel of Braj, they were not there. So two puddles Mahaprabhu saw, took bath in them. This is Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. He showed, but then what will happen next? Who will excavate? So those all things were given to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami left, went to Vrindavan, stayed there. Mahaprabhu walks ahead, goes to the next place, Banaras, and Sanatana Goswami comes there. Mahaprabhu spends 1 full month with Sanatana Goswami, gives him teachings and tells him, go to your brother Rupa Goswami and stay in Vrindavan, don't leave Vrindavan, and develop Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami are in transcendental lockdown in Vrindavan. And Mahaprabhu comes back to Jagannath Puri. This is amazing stories, the way Mahaprabhu is dealing with his devotees. So one by one, all the Goswamis, wherever they were, Mahaprabhu sent them to Vrindavan in transcendental lockdown. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Jiva Goswami. This is our parampara of transcendental lockdown for Krishna's seva. And then let's go to now Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami is done. Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was staying in Bengal near Kolkata city. That's a place called Adi Saptagram. He was the son of a very, very big landlord, Govardhan Majumdar and Hiranya Majumdar, uncle and his father. And they had a huge amount of money. They were like reporting to Nawab Hussain Shah, the king of Bengal. And they were the official tax collector on their behalf, and they have getting special interest for collecting the tax. So much of money, but Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to escape and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shantipur when Mahaprabhu had come for when Mahaprabhu came to Shantipur that time. So Mahaprabhu said, don't be Markat Vairagi, don't be false renunciate. Go back home, be a pound shilling man, work, stay there. When time comes, then you join. So Raghunath Das Goswami went and he became like that. But within his heart he was having that desire to join. And his father and mother knew, oh, our son has become mad after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we leave him like this, he will run away. So then they put him in transcendental lockdown. He was living in his house. He had a personal cook and 12 guards around him. He could not escape. And he was thinking, what to do? What should I do now? But he waited. Mahaprabhu said, wait. So he continued his service. And then one day he came to know that Lord Nityanand Prabhu has come nearby to Panihati. So he took permission of his father, who sent guards with him. And he came to Panihati to get mercy of Lord Nityanand Prabhu. So this Panihati is a very special festival. Why? So one day festival, but it has been celebrated throughout centuries. Of all festivals, one festival. Why? Because it's a mercy festival. In Bengal, they call Panihati festival as Danda Mahotsav. Danda means punishment. Punishment festival. How can someone call punishment as festival? Let's analyze that. So Raghunath Das Goswami watches that Nityanand Prabhu sitting there under a tree. From very far off place, he offers full obeisances. Devotees go and whisper, Nityanand Prabhu, that is Raghunath Das Goswami. Nityanand Prabhu says, where is that thief? Bring him here. Nityanand Prabhu calls him thief. So they bring him. Nityanand Prabhu is calling you. You are a thief. You are a thief only keeps hiding from other people. You are hiding from me. You are a thief. So now I will give you punishment. Danda. And a danda or punishment is you have to serve all my devotees here. With what? Chipped rice. Now just analyze. Here is a dirty rich person. He is coming to you, ready to offer any service. You have to give something fitting to him, right? He can offer you, what he can offer? Sweet rice. But Nityananda Prabhu is in the mood of cowherd boy. He said, I am a cowherd boy. I take only chipped rice with my cowherd friends in the front of Yamuna. Ganga was there for Yamuna. So Nityananda Prabhu told him to make chipped rice. And Raghunath Das Goswami was punished for making chipped rice. You have to make chipped rice. Now punishment has to be something which will feel like punishment, right? Like if I tell all of you, you are all punished. Today evening you have to eat big feast of prasad. Prabhu, thank you. Bole. So thank you. You all want prasadam and you saying you are punished to eat prasadam. Raghunath Das Goswami was punished to serve devotees, which was his life and soul. So he was told to bring chipped rice mixed with dahi, yogurt. Raghunath Das Goswami took that instruction. He did not say to his servant, go and bring some chipped rice with curd. Meanwhile, I will sit in Nityananda Prabhu's lecture, you bring the thing. No. He went to the market. He purchased curd, he purchased chipped rice, and he purchased everything else. He purchased fruits, he purchased dry fruits, everything, and he mixed all that together to make an opulent item of a chipped rice. Service was so small, but he said, I can do this service much more bigger way, better way. Right? Srila Prabhupada once told, my Guru Maharaj told me to preach in the West, but I understood his heart. So I came to preach in India also. So Prabhupada began preaching in the West, but eventually Prabhupada also came to India and put his attention in India and preached and established temples in Krishna consciousness. This is Prabhupada. He always thought something much more deeper. So Guru's instruction is there and a disciple understands the instruction in depth and serves beautifully. So Danda Mahotsav got over and Raghunath Das Goswami was told, go back to your home. Soon you will join the transcendental army of Lord Chaitanya. So Raghunath Das Goswami in due course of time ran from his lockdown to go and accept another lockdown, to stay in Jagannath Puri throughout his life. So Raghunath Das Goswami was in lockdown in Jagannath Puri till Mahaprabhu was there. Once Mahaprabhu's pastimes got over, then Raghunath Das Goswami went and stayed in Radhakund. Another lockdown. He never went out anywhere. These were our Goswamis. So we see that how beautifully these pastimes of Chaitanya Charitamrita illustrate us, that how devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, they all went through this beautiful transcendental lockdown. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sending the 6 Goswamis to Vrindavan and literally putting them in lockdown. The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan were staying there, and then the next generation was this trio of Srinivas Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit. They come from different parts of India to take training under Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami teaches them and gives them the entire original books of all the Goswamis and send them under transcendental lockdown. He said, you go, Narottam Das Thakur, you go to East Bengal, which is Bangladesh today. Srinivas Acharya, you go to West Bengal, which is the Katwa area, the whole area of West Bengal. And Shyamananda Pandit, you go to Odisha. So you gave them the area. This is the area you preach. And then in future we see, as the parampara goes on, we find how Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wanted to have a preacher devotee son. So he prayed to Lord Jagannath, and Lord Jagannath arranged for Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to be born as a ray of Vishnu. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur sent Srila Prabhupada to preach all over the world. So this is the Guru Parampara. The Guru Parampara arranges that the followers come under a transcendental lockdown of service. Srila Prabhupada was once in ISKCON Juhu, Mumbai, and Panchadravid Maharaj, he came to meet Srila Prabhupada. He said, Srila Prabhupada, I am serving you in Mumbai. Sometimes I do this service, sometimes I do that service. There are many devotees in Mumbai. Some are washing pots, some are sweeping. So Prabhupada, you are traveling all over the world. How can I connect with you personally? How can I ensure that I am serving you personally? Srila Prabhupada heard this. It's a very bona fide question. That I am serving my Guru is traveling. How can I understand that I am serving my Guru personally? Srila Prabhupada replied amazingly. Prabhupada said, ISKCON is so big, but I am so small. So Panchadravid Maharaj little caution. Prabhupada, I meant that, So Prabhupada said, that is true. ISKCON is very big. I am not big, I am small. I have to travel everywhere. I have made ISKCON, I am in charge of ISKCON, I have to take care of ISKCON. But I am so small, I can't take care of the entire ISKCON. Therefore I need you. So I have told you, you take care of Mumbai, pot washing, sweeping. This you take care. And by taking care of the ISKCON, you are in touch with me personally. That's how connection with Guru is. Srila Prabhupada was very practical. Amazing analogies and examples he would convince. Panchadravid Maharaj was so happy to hear this. How actually by serving ISKCON, Prabhupada said ISKCON is my body. By serving ISKCON, we get connected with Srila Prabhupada. And through that connection, we always remain fresh, connected and very much enthused in our Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada in this way, not only that Prabhupada was, when Prabhupada was physically present, devotees were connected to Prabhupada. Even now also, we are all connected to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is here with us in the form of his teachings, his society, his beautiful deity. Right? One book distributor told his realization that there was a very small temple somewhere in the West, and this devotee, a small temple, handful of devotees, 2-3 devotees, managing the temple, worship. The marathon was going on, they could not go for book distribution, so they were feeling very morose. So one of these devotees, they had a very small temple. They would take care of deities, and temple hall was their living room. They would stay in the night, sleep there, chatais, mats. So one day this devotee was sleeping, and Prabhupada's Vyasasana was there where he was sleeping. Night 12 o'clock, someone shook him, woke him up. He woke up, saw Prabhupada had come down from Vyasasana, and he was waking up. Get up! Prabhupada, what happened? Prabhupada said, I am feeling very bored in this temple. I want to preach. Okay, Prabhupada, tomorrow morning we will go. No, you should go now. She was thinking, Prabhupada, now 12 o'clock midnight, take me, go ahead, I'll follow you. So he just completely flabbergasted. He got up, he walked downstairs, Prabhupada was following him. Then he went to the gate, the main gate, and Prabhupada sat there. He was standing. Prabhupada, what to do? No one is there on the street now. Prabhupada said, wait, someone will come. Catch him, bring him here. Tell him I want to preach to him. So Prabhupada should see that man is going there, catch him and bring him. Tell him your Guru wants to preach to him. So he was like, no, he went to that person and said, come. Night time someone is calling you, come. So why? My Guru wants to preach to you. No, I will not come. Come, we pulled him literally. And he came to the gate and he saw Prabhupada was not there. Shocked. I got this man here and Prabhupada said, bring him, and Prabhupada is not there. And then he heard Prabhupada's voice. So where is Prabhupada? And then he saw a chair there on which there are a few Prabhupada books. Prabhupada was speaking to the books. Haribol, I am here. Give the books to him. Let him take home. At home I will preach to him. So while he was thinking all that, it was all a dream. He woke up on a dream and realized it's a reality. Srila Prabhupada is preaching even today. When we give a person a book of Srila Prabhupada, we are giving that person Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada will preach to him today, tomorrow, whenever. Or not him, some other person will get preached. That's how book distribution happens. So Srila Prabhupada, even now he is so powerful Acharya that all over the world people appreciate Srila Prabhupada's contribution. Bhakticharu Maharaj mentioned a very beautiful story once. Bhakticharu Maharaj, he made this beautiful Abhay Charan serial, right? Srila Prabhupada's life in form of a television serial. So Bhakticharu Maharaj was going all over India shooting. Bhakticharu Maharaj then came to Calcutta because Calcutta was the main place where Srila Prabhupada performed his pastimes. So Bhakticharu Maharaj remembered Srila Prabhupada studied in this college, Scottish Church College. So Bhakticharu Maharaj said, will not be good that we do the shooting of Srila Prabhupada's young age in the very college where he studied. So it's a good idea. So Bhakticharu Maharaj took some few devotees. They entered the college campus and they went to the appointment with the principal. They went to the principal. The principal was some Shakti follower, Devi follower. He did not like Hare Krishna so much. He had his own understanding of Hare Krishna. As soon as he saw all his saffron devotees, he said, why have you come here? You Hare Krishnas are good for nothing. Don't stand here, get lost, I don't want to talk to you. So there was no way communication. Bhakticharu Maharaj tried to tell him something. He said, no, immediately call the guard. Why you let them inside? Take them out. So they all went out. They reached temple. After a few days, Bhakticharu Maharaj said, maybe we all went together, such a big number of devotees. We may have dismayed you. Maybe few devotees should go and try. Maharaj, we just went there, he has disrespected, insulted you also. Still, let's try. So Bhakticharu Maharaj went with 2-3 devotees again. And this time the guard did not allow Bhakticharu Maharaj to go inside. Then Bhakticharu Maharaj spoke in beautiful Bengali language to him. See, said, your principal has problem with these devotees. I am a sannyasi. You allow me, he will have no problem. So the guard said, looks meaningful. So he said, okay, don't come. All these devotees don't come. Maharaj, you go inside. So Bhakticharu Maharaj went alone to the principal's office. The principal saw Bhakticharu Maharaj. He became very angry, wild. He again started abusing Maharaj. Bhakticharu Maharaj had got with him a beautiful booklet of Prabhupada in his hand. He wanted to give that. When he saw that he was not in the mood, Bhakticharu Maharaj tried to talk to him, but he was not in the mood of even hearing so much argument. He called the guard to take Bhakticharu Maharaj out. Bhakticharu Maharaj slipped that Prabhupada book on the table and came out. Prabhupada will do something. I cannot do, let Prabhupada do something. Miracle. This guy, while coming out of his office that day, saw this book. He picked up the book, put in his bag, and he read this book just to get information. What is this all nonsense, Hare Krishna? What a transformation. He never knew Prabhupada was from Calcutta. Prabhupada went to America, preached, did so many things. He had all his own versions, hearing different people like that, So he did not know what Hare Krishna is all about. He called up temple with morals that I send all the devotees. So one of the devotees who had gone with Bhakticharu Maharaj, he lifted the phone. So those were days where, these are very old stories. So he said, I am calling from Scottish Church College Principal. The devotee said, why are you calling Hare Krishna? Kept the phone down. Again he will abuse me. He got a shock of his timing. Again he called him, why are you calling? He was very afraid of this person now. And anyone was speaking, they were not replying to him. So he became confused. So finally that Scottish Church College Principal came to temple, the Radha Govind temple in Calcutta. And some dude saw him, they ran away. This person has come here also. Now I think so he's going to book a story here also. And finally he met Bhakti Charu Maharaj there. And he offered obeisance. Sorry. What happened to you? Sudden transformation. Maharaj, you kept the book. I did not know. Prabhupada is from Calcutta. He has preached so much. Complete change of heart. Bhakti Charu Maharaj preached him. He became devotee. 16 rounder. Got initiated. This is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is there even now preaching in ISKCON. So Srila Prabhupada very beautifully has done wonderful services all over the world, connecting so many people in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada is the preeminent Shiksha Guru of all devotees in ISKCON. Even now Prabhupada is inspiring. Prabhupada inspired when he was physically present, Prabhupada is inspiring even now. Prabhupada is now correcting even now devotees in his transcendental way. Actually, when Srila Prabhupada was there in Malaysia, I just remember this story. I forgot to quote before, so I just thought. Prabhupada's stories are always good. You can always quote off quote also. So Prabhupada was in Malaysia. He was about to catch a plane and go to some other country, maybe Japan or Hong Kong like that. Anyways, Prabhupada was going. So there was one Mataji, she was cooking for Prabhupada. So morning Prabhupada, so she saw Prabhupada is going in the morning flight. So she got up early in the morning and she was cooking samosas for Prabhupada. So Prabhupada got the fragrance of samosa. So Prabhupada came down to the kitchen and saw samosa. Hot samosas. Prabhupada picked one and ate. He liked it. He took the next one. That also was eating. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, this is samosa for you. Prabhupada said, yes, therefore I am eating. Prabhupada, this is samosa for your flight. If I like, I'll eat now. Why should I wait for the flight? So, this Mataji was very happy that Prabhupada is liking her samosa so much that Prabhupada cannot wait for the flight. He's taking it now. My samosa. So she said, Prabhupada, who is your best cook? She thought Prabhupada will now say, your cooking is so good. So Prabhupada eating samosas and Prabhupada, who is your best cook? The Mataji asked Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, my best cook is I myself. And Mataji, she recollects this past time and how Prabhupada brought her back to the Lord. So this is how Prabhupada was so beautifully correcting his disciples, how Prabhupada was so grateful to everything he had. Everyone who helped him. Right? Prabhupada has cried so many times that telling all his disciples, my spiritual master has sent you to help me. It was genuine cry. Like Satsvarup Maharaj mentions in one of his books, Srila Prabhupada went to many temples. Some temples Prabhupada cried while speaking Bhagavatam. In Atlanta one, Caracas, Venezuela, Prabhupada went, saw the government deities, wept, cried, ecstasy. Satsvarup Maharaj writes very beautifully in his book, just like Akrura, he is a pure devotee of Krishna, carrying Krishna always. But when he entered Vrindavan, the Krishna in his heart manifested in person. He saw the lotus footprints of Krishna in Braj Dhuli, in dust of Vrindavan. And he got into ecstasy, Akrura. He rolled on the ground to take the dust of Vrindavan. So he was having Krishna in his heart, but he saw Krishna manifesting from his heart personally in front of him. So Akrura went into ecstasy. Satsvaru Maharaj gives comparison of how Akrura experienced ecstasy with Srila Prabhupada experiencing ecstasy. He mentions Srila Prabhupada carried Gaur Nitai all over the world, establishing the Sankirtan movement. He came to Caracas and then he saw Gaur Nitai. Prabhupada was coming first time to South America, but he saw already there were so many devotees in devotee attire, chanting and full time and preaching. So Prabhupada was preaching in a temple hall which was full of devotees, and there was Gaur Nitai. Prabhupada sang this beautiful bhajan, Parama Karuna Bahu Duija, Nitai Gaur Chandra, and Prabhupada could not speak. Why? Just like Akrura, he was carrying Krishna, but he saw Krishna manifesting in front of him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda were in Srila Prabhupada's heart. Prabhupada was carrying them. But here in this place, Prabhupada saw that mercy manifesting in front of him. These are devotees in South America. I have never come to this place. First time I am coming. They are already devotees. This is so much mercy. So this was Srila Prabhupada. And how he was always so grateful to anyone who helped him. Srila Prabhupada, he went to America in the cargo ship, right? Jaladuta. Before that, Prabhupada stayed for a few days in Mumbai in the Scindia Steamship Colony. Scindia Steamship Colony is the same company which had Jaladuta as a ship. So Sumati Morarji, who gave the free ticket to Srila Prabhupada, had made a colony or housing colony, right? Where the employees could stay. So Prabhupada was staying with them because Prabhupada was preparing to go. So all people were getting ready. That time, one of the employees of Sumati Morarji were staying in the next room. They had a house there. And one empty house was given to Srila Prabhupada. So they saw Srila Prabhupada was hardly eating anything. And Srila Prabhupada's clothes also were not so good. So they went to the market and purchased saffron clothes, 2 pair, and gave to Prabhupada. Prabhupada very, very humbly accepted it because Prabhupada needed that. Prabhupada did not have anything. Gone over, Prabhupada comes to America, establishes Krishna consciousness, big way. Prabhupada is in Los Angeles, and Prabhupada is in temple and walking this couple who had come for a vacation to America, and they walk in the temple. Prabhupada recognized them. These are those people who gave me that saffron. Prabhupada arranged for a big hospitality for them. Everyone was thinking, who these Indian people are there? Prabhupada is taking so much of interest. Took nice care of them, give them good prasadam, and they are very happy. They were talking to Prabhupada like they are family members, and Prabhupada was talking like family member with them. And they went away from Los Angeles. Prabhupada is traveling all over the world, comes to Vrindavan. They also come to Vrindavan for darshan. They come to know that ISKCON temple is here, Prabhupada is here. So they came, and the servant said, who are you? Tell Swamiji, we are these people. They came at night, 9 p.m. Prabhupada came to know, Prabhupada called them in their room. Prabhupada said, you should take prasad with me. He said, no, Swamiji, it's too late. No, it's not late. Prabhupada told his servants, make prasad, hot prasad. So night, 9:30, 10 o'clock, Prabhupada arranged for hot puris, sabjis, milk, everything. And Prabhupada said, I will also take. Prabhupada would never take in the night. But for their pleasure, Prabhupada sat with them and took big feast prasad to make them comfortable. So Prabhupada remembered that these people had helped me. Right? So this is how grateful Srila Prabhupada was. So Prabhupada was always in a prayerful mood. He was always grateful. Today morning, Agnidev Prabhu was mentioning very beautifully this bhajan, Krishna Tava Punya Have Bhai, where Srila Prabhupada is expressing his heart and emotion to Krishna. Right? We were mentioning on the first day of this series, Srila Prabhupada was asked by Bhavanandam Prabhu that, Prabhupada, why you came here in the material world? Prabhupada said, Krishna forced me. I told him, I don't want to go to this dirty place. So Prabhupada said, I didn't want to go. Krishna said, no, go down. I was saying, no, Prabhupada. No, Krishna, I want to stay with you. And Krishna said, just go down, write some few books, rest I will take care. So Prabhupada came down. So Prabhupada is praying to Krishna here about this mission which is given by a spiritual master and how it's a very difficult mission. Srila Prabhupada is reaching America, he has no understanding of what American culture is, no idea of what that place is. In fact, Lilamrit mentions Prabhupada got down, he did not even knew he should go left or he should go right. Someone guided him, go to the office there. He went there, there was one guy, travel agent, he said, Swami Bhakti Vedanta, yes. Gopal Agarwal, he's staying in Butler, Pennsylvania. You sit in the bus will drop you. He did not know what is Butler, Pennsylvania, but he was put on a bus. All strange, right? Just imagine we are on Prabhupada's place. We do not know who is going to pick us at the airport. One person will come, put us on another bus. How many hours you do not know. And then he gets down and meets a strange person who is Gopal Agarwal. And he's taking care of Prabhupada in Butler, Pennsylvania. Complete strange. Prabhupada mentions in Lilamrit, many times he would go back to the port, Boston, and check what is the next ship, when the next ship going back. He would go and check, but he would never attempt to go back. He would come back. Let's try once more. And this Prabhupada was took so much of hardship. All that thing Prabhupada expresses in his bhajan. So we thought we will take advantage. We have chance. We have this beautiful bhajan with all of you, okay, and you have WhatsApp with you. Then we have shared that on the WhatsApp in the group. How many of you have WhatsApp here? Please raise your hands. 6, 7. Quite a lot of devotees have got. So those who do not have can catch up with others who have. And we will sing this beautiful song. We will not sing, we will follow. Prabhuji will sing. Who is the original person who composed the tune of this. So, you want to sit here? No. So this is Krishna Tava Punya Have Pai. We sing this song. Hare Krishna.
Oh, yes. Namo. This bhajan Prabhupada composed on the Jaladuta crossing the Atlantic Ocean. When he got to Boston, when he wrote this Krishna Tava as a poem, And when he got to Boston, he wrote another poem called Martini Bhagavatam. And before Prabhupada came to America, he had written several poems, and they were all published in Bhaktisiddhanta's. Bhaktisiddhanta had given instruction to his disciples who were operating printing. He said, anything he writes, you should publish. And so devotees found research that many poems Prabhupada wrote they found them in old Gaudiya Math magazines and so on. But this one, Krishna Tava Punyam Vai, Prabhupada wrote on the board coming. And I didn't find this, I was unaware of this bhajan, like many devotees were, this poem. But when I found it, it was a few years after Prabhupada left. And when I read it, the translation, I liked it very much. And I thought, this should be sung. What?
Devotees, the bhajan is on the Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, right? So you could just pull it up. It's on the Japa group and all of that. So just check your phone and you will get it.
So I thought this bhajan should be sung. In the same way, Prabhupada taught us to sing bhajans by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, etc. I thought, he has written, so we should sing. I mean, every day in the temples we sing Sri Guru Charana Padma. That is by Narottam Das Thakur. We sing Guru Vastakam every morning, Mangalarti. That is by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So I said, Prabhupada has written, why don't we sing? So I prayed to Prabhupada that I want to sing this poem because it's so beautiful and everything, his mission is all, this is what he was thinking about coming to America. And after praying to Prabhupada, this melody came to me that fits perfectly. So I showed it to some devotees and they loved it. And then when I came here in Trinidad, the second year I went to Mayapur for Gaur Purnima. And I sang it at the Kirtan Mela for the first time. Nobody knew it, but I was taking a chance, being bold. But I was just itching that devotees should sing this. So here's a gathering with plenty of devotees, thousands. So Giri Govardhan was there. He used to be here in Trinidad, Giri Govardhan. So I told him, arrange that you can put a screen up in the temple room. We were in the Panchatattva hall, and that everybody can see it, and then I'll sing it. So they did like that. And everyone loved it. So then I was convinced I should record it. So I recorded it a few years later. And anyway, this is how it goes. Krishna, tava punya habe bhai. Krishna, tava punya habe bhai. Tava punya habe bhai. হবে, রাধারানী সুখী হবে, উভয়াপি বলি তোমায় চাই। এ পুণ্যা করিবে তবে রাধারানী সুখী হবে, উভয়াপি বলি তোমায় চাই। কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পার, কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পার। কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পার। শ্রী সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতী সচিসুত প্রিয়য়তি কৃষ্ণস্য জগৎতুলনায়। শ্রী সিদ্ধান্ত সরস্বতী সচিসুত প্রিয়য়তি কৃষ্ণস্য জগৎতুলনায়। সেই সে মহন্ত গুরু জগতের মধ্যে গুরু কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি দেখায়। সেই সে মহন্ত গুরু জগতের মধ্যে কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি দেখায়। কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পার, কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য হবে পার। Jate Gaurang Girana Harisha Balavan Ashta Jate Kanta Jate Gaurang Girana Priti Vite Nagarani Asamudra Narayani Sakale Bole Krishna Ram আনন্দ হয় তবে হয় দিগ্বিজয়, সেখানে কৃপা আতিশয়। তাহলে আনন্দ হয় তবে হয় দিগ্বিজয়, সেখানে কৃপা আতিশয়। মায়া দুষ্টা যত দুঃখী জগতে সবাই সুখী, বৈষ্ণবের বীজপূর্ণ হয়। মায়া দুষ্টা যত দুঃখী জগতে সবাই সুখী, বৈষ্ণবের বীজপূর্ণ হয়। কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য তবে পায়, কৃষ্ণ তব পুণ্য তবে পায়। পরিবারে আজ্ঞা ধরি দিল মনে, যোগা নারী আতি বিরোধীন। আজ্ঞা ধরি দিল মনে, যোগা নারী আতি বিরোধীন। পাইছে তোমার কৃপা মাগিতেছি অনুরূপ, সবর করিনা। সে শক্তি পেলে গুরু সেবায় বাস করিলে জীবন সার্থক যদি হয়। মার সে শক্তি পেলে গুরু সেবায় বাস করিলে জীবন সার্থক যদি হয়। সেই সে সেবা করলে আমার সুখী হবে তব সঙ্গ বাঁধে তুমি সেই সে সেবা হবে মাধব পুণ্য হবে The sixth verse was not composed by Prabhupada. All the other verses were composed by Prabhupada. But the sixth verse, Prabhupada, was a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto by Prahlad Maharaj. We can read that afterwards. But we'll go straight to the 7th verse. তুমি মোরা ছিয়া সাথী বুড়িয়া মায়া রাখি কায়াছি জন্ম জন্মান্তরে কায়াছি জন্ম জন্মান্তরে আজি পুনারে সুযোগ যদি হয় যোগ যোগ তবে পাই তুমি So, as I said, this is a most wonderful song. I'll just briefly, Prabhupada he titled this A Prayer to the Lotus Feet of Krishna. He gave this in English. But the whole song, he wrote it in his own handwriting in Bengali. And it wasn't much later that the devotees discovered it in some of his things. I believe they were in the trunk in Radha Damodar temple, because Prabhupada had a room there. Anyway, this Prabhupada, he kept a diary also on the boat, on the Jaladuta, and he mentions in the diary that he gives the day. He was keeping track. Every day he would write, enter something in his diary. Today, even a small thing, he would say, today I made some khichdi. that was worth entering in his diary. He was just, this was a whole new thing. First time leaving India, on crossing the Atlantic, and it was difficult. He suffered 2 heart attacks. He said, later on, he said, practically I was not healthy from the minute I got to America. So my whole time, he said, I never had good health because of the 2 heart attacks. And then later on, after he had arrived, he had another heart attack. And that's when he decided, because they took him to doctor, but the doctors couldn't help him. And he said, I have to go back to India. Only there I can get proper treatment. There's Ayurvedic doctors there. So the devotees, they were attached to Prabhupada. This is in the early days. There weren't many temples, just a few temples. 4 or 5 temples. And he went. And when he left to go, many of the devotees thought we may never see him again. So it was a very sobering time. And they were asking him, and he said, you just follow my instructions and everything will be fine. And by Krishna's grace, I'll get better and I'll come back. So he left with devotees crying. Anyway, he came back and movement took off. It really took off. So in here, in the chorus, which is the first verse, the first 3 lines, this is how Prabhupada begins to petition Krishna to help him. He says, Krishna tava punya hobe bhai, my dear friend. He addresses Krishna as a friend. It's not so much reverential as a friend. He said, my dear friend, Ipunya koribe jabe Radha Rani sukhi habe. Ruvayati bolito maitai. He says, it is known, we Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we know something about you. And Krishna is listening. What do you know about me? He says, we know that you're always trying to get Radha Rani's mercy. Everybody, we all know that. Not everybody knows that. We know it because we are connected. Other people, even other sampradayas don't know this. Prabhupada said it in a nice way. He said everyone is seeking the mercy of Krishna, but Krishna is seeking the mercy of Radha. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami has Krishna saying, Ami Shisha. He said, I am Radharani's Shisha. I'm her disciple. She's teaching me how to dance. This is, who knows this? So Prabhupada is telling Krishna, I know you always seeking Radharani's mercy. And this is the third line, Dhruva yati boli tomaitai. This is fixed, like the pole star, Dhruva. That is called Dhruva Loka. That one is fixed. So he said, just like the pole star, which is fixed, it is fixed. We know this, and you always seeking Radharani's mercy. And then he said, I'm just making it small. He begins to glorify his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he says, my Guru Maharaj, he's a servant of Lord Chaitanya, great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, who is Radha and Krishna combined. And he is a servant of Radharani. Now he has given me this mission impossible to come to the West. Prabhupada's on the boat and he's thinking, I got a difficult job ahead of me here. I don't know how will they accept this, what I have to say. So he has given me this mission impossible. But I think I am most unqualified to do this. Therefore I'm asking you to help me. You give me the Shakti to do this service. And then he says something wonderful. He says, if you help me, because my Guru Maharaj is a servant of Radharani, that means Radharani wants this to be done. So we also all have a dependent on Radharani. She's behind all of this. This preaching movement, this is Radharani's desire. So he said, my Guru Maharaj, he is a servant of Radharani. That means Radharani wants this to be done. And if you help me, that will be good for you. You will get Radharani's mercy. You'll get piety. Your life, you'll become piety. You'll have Radharani's kripa. And we all will agree that Krishna said, take it, give him all the help. And thus he was able to do what never was dreamed of by anyone else. He went around the world and he preached Krishna. He made Krishna, he named Krishna a household word. He established so many temples. He had Jagannath Rath Yatra going on all around the world. Gaunitai practically, most of the temples have Gaunitai Devi. And none of this was done before, even by his Guru Maharaj. Bhaktisiddhanta never installed Gaunitai deities. He installed Chaitanya and Radha Krishna. Gaur Radha, Gaur Radha Madhava, Gaur Radha whoever. All his temples are like that. And when Prabhupada opened the Calcutta temple, he did the same thing there. I think that's the only place. He has Gaur and Radha Madhava. And when he opened the first Mayapur temple, which was a small temple, I went there in 1975, and that's who was on the altar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Didi alone, not Nityananda, Chaitanya Didi and Radha Madhava, small Radha Madhava. So that's what Bhaktisiddhanta did. But then as Prabhupada began preaching, Gaunitai came out. Gaura came out and they were installing Gaura deities like anything. And his crowning achievement was establishing the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. And he said, worshipping Gaura and worshipping Krishna Balaram is the same. Because the Acharyas, Narottam Das Thakur says, Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Sita, you say, Balaram and Gaura. They're not different. But Prabhupada did this. He did what no one else had done before. He stepped out of the box, you could say, and preached like anything. So, devotees should study this prayer. It's wonderful. And at the end, the last 3 verses in the poem, Prabhupada expresses something that he hasn't expressed anywhere else. He expresses his heart's aspiration, his heart's desire. Now, from reading the songs by Bhaktivinoda and Narottam, they also express their heart's desire in their songs. Like Narottam, in one song, Radha Krishna Pranam or Jugala Kishore. He wants to worship the divine couple and serve them. It's a very nice, beautiful song. But in this song, Prabhupada says, after explaining his mission, what he wants and wants Krishna to help him, he expresses, after he's done his mission, what he's looking forward to, what he wants to do. And he says it very clearly. I'll just read it quickly. He says, this is the 7th, 8th and 9th verse. 3 verses. He says, O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicking of Maya birth after birth. But if today the chance to meet you occurs again, then surely I will be able to join you, to rejoin you. He says, surely I'll be able to rejoin you. And he said he didn't want to come, but Krishna said, you go down, I'll help you. And then he says, in the 8th verse he says, oh my dear brother. Again he's talking to Krishna in this friendly manner. Oh my dear brother, in your company I will experience great joy once again. Wandering about the pastures and fields, I will pass the entire day with you in tending the cows, joking with you and frolicking throughout the many forests of Braj. I will roll upon the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? And then the last verse he says, today, that remembrance of being with you came to me in a very nice way. And feeling great longing, I called out for you. O Lord Krishna, only because I am your eternal servant do I desire your association so much. Except for you, I have no other refuge. So, there's more to be said on it, but we are already 9 o'clock. But Prabhu wanted me to sing it tonight, so. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is the last time. She is leaving in the morning for Guyana, and I am also leaving in the There's a Rath Yatra there. And Zarupa and myself.
Hare Krishna. So what a beautiful way to end this 4-day seminar / classes on this very high note with singing this beautiful poem, prayer. So I know that we are very sad that this has come to an end and that His Grace Baladeva Prabhu is leaving us very early in the morning. So, as I told you on Tuesday evening, Prabhuji, he is traveling and assisting devotees, management and so on in training and educating the devotees of the ISKCON society. And this is what Srila Prabhupada wants, that we educate ourselves when it comes to the Krishna conscious philosophy. This is why he would have spent so many hours sleeping very little and translating his books. So when devotees like His Grace Baladeva Prabhu comes, we get so much encouragement and it revitalizes us, gives us that further impetus to go on reading and hearing and associating nicely with the devotees. So as we would have said, the topic was re-emerging from the pandemic, because it's important. This kind of sangha is important. The tangible association of devotees and hearing. Of course, both are important, the online and so on, and we have established that. But this coming together, as Prabhu said in one night of the lecture, he said, Srila Prabhupada established these centers, and these are oases for us to come and get sustenance. So when we come in this kind of forum, we feel so charged. It's already 9 o'clock, and devotees, I could see you. You could go on till midnight, or you could probably stay till Mangalarti. So, because this is nectar, and we relish this kind of katha and this kind of nectar. So I would like to thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so very much for coming out after the pandemic and reaching out to so many devotees. I know that you're instrumental in establishing the Bhakti Shastri program in these areas. But now you're personally coming. I was wondering if you're coming to see how we do it, No, you just wanted to come and see us. So we're very happy to have you, and hope that, you come again very soon. Come. You're always welcome, you know that, in Trinidad. Next time we're going to take you to Tobago. So, everybody comes to Trinidad, we want to take them to Tobago, because Tobago is very beautiful. It's the best part of Trinidad, you heard? Agni Prabhu said, it's the best part of Trinidad. Oh, yeah. We had Rath Yatra in Tobago, it was beautiful, We will do that. So we can arrange that next time you come. So Prabhu, thank you again for your wonderful association and for your wonderful insights on the scriptures, how nicely you would have found. I didn't think about it. I was wondering how you brought out all these devotees in quarantine from all the scriptures so expertly, very nicely. So thank you very, very much. And I know the devotees enjoy it. And we look forward to seeing you soon. So Prabhuji is going off to Guyana in the morning and then to Suriname. And so we wish you safe travels, all the best. Krishna, Srimati Radharani's mercy on you. And please come and visit us again. Hare Krishna.